Thanks for finding your way to Daily Strength. It's our prayer that these few moments together might indeed be strength for your journey. Today, let's talk about showing you to your room. As Jesus said in John 14:2, "In my Father's house there are many rooms. I am going there to prepare a place for you." Well, every once in a while, when I travel to speak at a conference, get this, the organization puts me up in a 5-star hotel. You know the type. Lobbies with lavish flower arrangements, a staff that is sensitive to your every need, and the robes in a bathroom that are so big and fluffy you could safely fall into them from a 5-story building, and exotic soaps ready to fill your shower with fragrant aromas. I must admit that I'm carnal enough to love staying in those kinds of places. I wonder, do I have a witness to that? But there is a flip side. Most of the time when I travel, I feel like I'm on a points program with every budget motel across the states. You know the kind. You walk in carrying your own luggage. You wait in vain for somebody to greet you as you're banging on the little bell on the desk next to the vase with the wimpy plastic flower in it. And when you finally get to your room, on your own, thank you, you can't help but notice that the towels look like somebody cut up used sheets. And on the sink, there's a little tiny bar of soap, all wrapped up like they don't really want you to use it. And if you take it into the shower, slip, there's it goes right down the drain. So now, let me ask you, where would you rather stay? Really? Well, just like there's no comparison between a 5-star hotel and the local economy motel, we can't compare our experience on earth with the wonders that await us in heaven. Now, that's not to say that there are no wonderful aspects about earth. Without question, God has created our world to be a beautiful world for us to live in. But let's face it, we're a fallen race living in a fallen place, which means that inevitably living in this place is going to be a disappointing experience, which is exactly how the disciples must have felt when they met with Jesus in the upper room. They had been following him for 3 years, and they thought he was the one who would make Israel a wonderful place to live. You see, in their mind, they had won the lotto. They expected that he would restore Israel to its former glory, and that they would be the big shots in the government. Until, that is, Jesus unraveled their dreams. In John 13, he told them that one of them would betray him, and that he was leaving them, and that they couldn't go with him. In the other Gospels, we read that he also told him of his suffering, and warned them of the fact that they would suffer for him as well. But knowing that no matter how bad it gets in this place, Jesus knew that he had a better place for them just down the road. So he turned their eyes to the future and said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. In my Father's house are many rooms, and I am going there to prepare a place for you." And, as Paul reminds us, it is a place that is far better. Wow, what an amazing promise. Of course, those of us who grew up in King James' world might be wondering what happened to the mansions he was preparing for us. If we're totally honest, that probably has a lot more appeal than rooms. And in case you're thinking about carrying your King James Version with you into heaven and asking for an upgrade, well, don't worry about it. When you're shown to your room, you can bet it will be like no other place you've ever stayed. So next time you feel that you're stuck in a really bad place, don't forget what's ahead. As a friend of mine recently said, hey, if Jesus is your Savior, the future is your friend.